We're burning the midnight oil here on Philadelphia Eagles now, and if you're up late with us on this Friday going into Saturday, I want you to type real one. If you're waking up with us early going into day 3 of the NFL draft, I also want you to type real one down in the comment section. It's time to talk some Eagles. Forget sleep. We'll sleep a little bit later. But rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL draft in the rear view, so it's time to hand out some Philadelphia Eagles draft grades through the first 2 days. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making our show a part of your night or a part of your morning. So the Eagles did take a safety with the final pick in the second round. Andrew Mukuba out of Texas. Full video is up, on the channel, and we'll talk a little bit more about Mukuba and Jihaad Campbell, who the Eagles moved up one spot to take with the 31st overall pick in the first round of the NFL draft. In the third round, though, Philadelphia originally was slated to have the 96th pick, but they traded out of the third to compile some more draft capital for day 3, and then looking ahead to the 2026 draft as well. The first trade that the Eagles made, the trade out of 96, involved the deal with the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons received 96 overall. They moved up. Eagles traded out to 101, and then they got a 2026 fifth-round pick in that trade. And then once 101 came around, after the Eagles traded out of 96, they traded again, moved back, and traded out of the third. And so on day 2 of the NFL draft, Philadelphia only making one selection. So we're 3 rounds in, and the Birds have taken 2 players. This trade with the Denver Broncos, the Broncos move up to 101. They get 134 from the Eagles in this year's draft. But then Philadelphia gets 111 in the 4th round, 130 in the 4th round, and then they get 191 overall in the 2025 NFL draft as well in the 6th round. Going into the draft, Philadelphia didn't have any picks outside of the 5th. They had 8 selections all within the first 5 rounds, and so now do we have, Chip, all of the picks that the Philadelphia Eagles have on day 3 of the draft, rounds 4 to 6? They still do not have a 7th round selection once the draft gets underway on Saturday. And by the way, we'll be live once again tomorrow morning. So now, looking ahead to Saturday, the Eagles will be on the clock pretty early in the 4th round at 111, back on the board at 130. They still have 3 5th rounders, even though they traded 1 in that trade with the Kansas City Chiefs, 161, 165, 168. And then they have a 6th rounder, which they originally did not have, at 191. Also, as part of this, and I like how the Eagles have kind of loaded up on some picks additionally here in this year's draft, they have a bunch of draft capital and ammunition for 2026. They have a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd from the Jets, a 3rd projected compensatory pick for Milton Williams, a 4th, another 4th compensatory pick for Josh Sweat, a 5th, another 5th from the Texans, a 5th from Mekhi Becton signing with the Chargers. I was reading that could change, but as of right now, that's a possibility. They get a 5th acquired in a draft trade here, and then they have a 7th. Howie Roseman is locked and loaded for 2026 as well. And that's why the Eagles can continue to be a sustained winner in the National Football League. Now, with their 64th pick in the 2nd round, Philadelphia drafted Texas safety Andrew Mukuba. He is a very interesting player for a variety of reasons. And Howie Roseman said in his post-draft press conference, he plays the way that a Philadelphia Eagle plays. He has good diagnosing skills, good ball skills, plays with a lot of energy. He is a little bit smaller, and to some that's a little bit of a concern. He's 5'11", 186. So he's built like a corner, but plays safety. He is not a safety who will play in the box. Howie Roseman additionally said there are no longer box safeties in the NFL. It's not a thing any longer. And so I like Mukuba for the ball skills, for the smarts, for the desire to get better. He left Clemson because that program wasn't pushing him hard enough. So Vic Fangio is going to love him. I like the safety pairing on the back end because now you have Mukuba, you have Reed Blankenship, who make big play after big play on that back end with picking passes off, coming through with pass breakups. Mukuba has a high football IQ, reacts really quickly in coverage, has a good feel for what's happening. Definitely seemed more comfortable at Texas playing deep rather than that box safety role. Howie additionally saying, we will start him in the safety room. He is not going to start as a nickel corner for this football team. And while he is smaller, he can shoot gaps because he is a smart player in making plays against the run. The consistent theme with Mukuba throughout his college career, interceptions, pass breakups. He starts at Clemson, and he's there for 3 seasons, then transferred to Texas this past year. Pass breakup numbers by season, 7, 4, 6, and 11. The TFL numbers, 2.5, 2, and 4. Pretty impressive from that safety position because he's always usually coming from that third level of the field. And then interception numbers by year, 0, 1, 0, and 5. This is also a player who has that mother effer type of mentality. And he, like Jihaad Campbell, can really run. Plays with speed, reckless abandon, and he has that missile aspect to the velocity in which he plays with. At the NFL Combine, he clocked a 4.45 40-yard dash. And so when he gets going downhill, he can really run. The 20-yard split, 2.6, 10-yard split, 1.57, the 3-cone at 7.15. Did have some injury issues while at Texas. Another thing with Mukuba, very highly graded player according to Pro Football Focus. I was looking at some of the PFF grades. He had a 90 overall grade last year, one of the highest marks for all defensive backs in the NFL. I made the comparison. He does play a lot like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Instincts, smaller, similar 40, similar size coming out of college. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out of Florida, Mukuba out of Texas, and they're comfortable crashing up toward the line of scrimmage, and both Mukuba and Gardner-Johnson, despite their lack of size, have made a living at that safety position. And so they trade C.J. Gardner-Johnson away, and they draft a player who's very similar. The Eagles thought about trading back out of 64, but they didn't want to run the risk of not being able to take him. And then furthermore, I'm trying to look at some more in-depth numbers. Here we go. So Mukuba allowed the second lowest passer rating, 12.1 of any Division I FBS safety in 2024. And so again, you think about what the Eagles look for in players. Do you love football? Do you hustle? Do you, at the safety spot, have instincts? Can you make plays on the football? Do you have good speed? Do you have smarts? Do you love the game? And then, of course, analytically, the Eagles are always looking for analytically sound players. And so my grade for the Andrew Mukuba selection, I had him going to the Eagles in one of my mocks. I'm going to go B grade here. I thought that you could have gotten him in the 3rd round. So I thought at 64, it was a little bit of a reach. But listen, I'm going to trust Howie Roseman and the Eagles player development program because when they like a player, they'll either trade up to get him, do everything in their power to select that guy. And in this case, they could have traded back, but they didn't want to lose out on the opportunity to draft Mukuba, who will push Sidney Brown to start alongside Reed Blankenship on that back end at the safety spot for the Eagles in 2025. And his experience is also a big reason why. 50 games and 43 starts in his college career between Clemson and Texas. Be sure to hit that subscribe button here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. This is your home for all things NFL draft related with the Birds. And here we are past midnight Eastern, burning that midnight oil. the coverage does not stop because I absolutely love this football team. And I love that all of you give us that support and you continue to come back and support everything that we do. Our sponsor for this edition of Philadelphia Eagles. Now, our friends at Chubby's. Fellas, April is here. But this ain't the time for fooling. It's the time for schooling. And it's the time to let those thighs breathe. Whether you're playing around a golf with the fellas, hitting up a beer garden, visiting an actual garden, watching Eagles Super Bowl highlights, Chubby's has you covered for all the good vibes that warm weather brings. Bright polos that demand attention, check. Killer shorts that show off those beautiful thighs, check. Chip loves his legs. He has good legs. Double check. That's why he loves wearing Chubby's shorts. Hitting up the pool or the beach, well, Chubby's also has the classic lined swim collection as your new favorite trunk for those sunny days. For everything non-water related, their original shorts provide that classic look with a fresh vibe and modern fit. And for a mix of laid-back style and performance, you got to try their everywhere shorts as well. So to sweeten everything here, for limited time only, Chubby's is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our exclusive code CHAT. That's code CHAT at chubbysshorts.com. Be sure to check it out. Chubby's is fantastic. That's 20% off so that you can look good during the spring and summer season. Be sure to support our show and tell them that we sent you. Whether you're getting dressed for your workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has you covered. We'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of today's Philadelphia Eagles now. So the other pick that, of course, the Eagles have made is linebacker Jihaad Campbell, who the Eagles could use as a dual threat defensive player, off-ball linebacker. He can play edge. I think the Eagles really like his chops as an edge rusher. He was recruited to Alabama at an IMG Academy in Florida as an edge. And then some guys got hurt at Bama. He turns into an off-ball linebacker, the best, arguably, off-ball linebacker in this class. And that goes to show you the skill set that he has. And he was the best defender on that Alabama team last year. Like Mukuba, runs sideline to sideline very well. He can get up and down the field in a blink. He does have excellent size, unlike Mukuba, almost 6'3", 235 pounds. In 2024, 117 tackles, 12 TFLs, 5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He showed ability to cover as an off-ball linebacker. He had that innate ability to rush the quarterback, either as a blitzer in between the tackles, or he can line up as an edge. I think the Eagles do like that ability there, and he could be a Swiss Army knife for Vic Fangio. This, to me, screams Vic Fangio type of selection at the linebacker spot, specifically off-ball. You're not sure what the future is of Nakobe Dean coming off that knee injury, but he's also going into the final year of his contract. And so Campbell's dealing with that shoulder injury. It's a little bit of an issue, but he's coming off a breakout season where he emerged as one of the top defensive players in the country, good size and athleticism with proven ability in run support, blitzing, and in pass coverage. His instincts as a linebacker can still improve, but what's so impressive about him is that he does have good smarts. He does have a good feel for the game because he picked up the off-ball linebacker position very seamlessly, and then he has those traits as an edge rusher too. And so he can run, he will hit you, and he is very physical. He'll knock your head off. And there is this awesome clip of him hitting Jackson Dart so hard that his helmet came off in an Ole Miss Alabama game, and fittingly, of course, the New York Giants traded back into the first round to take Jackson Dart. He is that blue-collar, chip on my shoulder, play with swagger, confidence, and a streak of mean nastiness that Philadelphians absolutely love. And the Eagles had him as a top 10 player on their board. Just incredible value. How did he fall to the Eagles at number 31? And so with the value, with the versatility, the dual threat nature, some people have been talking on X that he could be the best multi-position player in this draft. I think that was a little bit of a shot at Travis Hunter. Either way, I think that he can end up being excellent for Philadelphia. So I have no other choice but to go A grade. And I've seen a lot of other people nationally who cover the NFL who have said Eagles are crushing it, Howie's killing it. and Jihaad Campbell, a wonderful pick for Philadelphia. As we shift gears to rounds 4 through 7, a lot of really good players available. The story of the NFL draft so far, Shedeur Sanders has not been taken yet. I'm not sure what's going on. There was that report from Tom Pelissero where he was quoting NFL front office executives and people around the league who did not have good things to say. People talking about nepotism, saying Shedeur Sanders had some of the worst pre-draft interviews that they'd ever experienced before. It's pretty wild that he has not been taken yet because he has first-round level talent in a weak quarterback class. I mean, we're to a point where Dillon Gabriel, who's small, pretty much the next version of Kellen Moore, got drafted in the 3rd round ahead of Shedeur Sanders. That should never, ever happen. And Dillon Gabriel is a small player who's now going to be playing in a cold weather climate with the Cleveland Browns. So Shedeur Sanders must have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Will he get drafted day 3? At this point, who the hell knows? Because I would have never told you that as we be going into round 4, day 3, that Shedeur Sanders would still be available. I really like Alec Ayumanner, the wide receiver out of Stanford. Marcus Bow has tackle experience, but I like him as a guard. Jack Sawyer is still available. He reminds me a lot of Trent Cole, not twitchy, not athletic, doesn't have great bender twitch, but he wins with a relentless pursuit. Just a really good football player. He's strong and just plays really hard. You have Antoine Powell-Ryland, edge rusher out of Virginia Tech. Jalen Royals, wide receiver, our 6th best player available according to our draft expert, Tom Downey. A lot of good running backs are still there. You have Dylan Sampson, one of the players headlining that class, Cam Scadaboo as well. Cameron Williams, offensive tackle, who can also probably play guard. Braden Swinson would be an excellent player for the Eagles. And I think that he would be a really good scheme fit. Bashal Tutin is a 4-2, 4-3 speedster type of running back. Billy Bowman, the safety out of Oklahoma. Quincy Riley, a cornerback out of Louisville. There's my guy, Cam Scadaboo. Unbelievable contact balance for him. Torrey Horton out of Colorado State. Kyle Kennard, edge rusher, South Carolina. And Gunnar Helm, tight end, Texas. And there was a run on tight ends in the 2nd round. Mason Taylor went very early, 42 to the Jets, I believe. We saw Terrence Ferguson out of Oregon get taken. Harold Fannin went early in the 3rd round, and I think that impacted the Eagles' plans at that tight end position. So let's hear it. Grade the Eagles draft so far. Jihaad Campbell, A. Andrew Mukuba, B. You let me know what you're thinking right now.